He's trucking. Now let's get rolling.
Hey everybody, how you doing today? Welcome to another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. This is episode number 951, and it's one of our Turn Back Tuesday episodes. You know what that means. All right, folks, turn back the clocks, clean up the spokes. This is another edition of Turn Back Tuesdays with your host, Bruce Outlash. Who doesn't like a Turn Back Tuesday episode right there? Anyway, we're going to talk about the interstate highway system today, how it started, why it started, if you didn't know the history of it. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of new people who do not know how or why the history of the interstate system works. And we're going to tell you right after this, so stay tuned. Hey folks, you know that Bison raised their rates at the beginning of the year for owner-operators and for company drivers. And I gotta tell you, it has been so successful that they wanted to let you know exactly how much their drivers are making. That's right, they have significantly increased the base rates for their teams. So owner-operator teams can earn up to $360,000 per year. That's right, you heard me say that right, $360,000 per year. Company team drivers can earn up to $120,000 per year per driver. That's right, per driver. That's some big numbers, right? They have a wide variety of Canada-only dedicated team positions available for folks to choose from, and Bison has a steady freight to keep the teams moving. So if you want to significantly increase your base rates, then you want to make sure that you sign up for that. Now, Bison has also increased the base rates for owner-operators. Owner-operators running Canada-only can earn up to $185,000 per year. They have a wide variety of Canada-only positions for owner-operators to choose from, and Bison has a steady freight to keep the owner-operators moving. So where can you learn more about all of these things? I mean, $360,000 for owner-operator teams, $120,000 for company driver teams, and owner-operators running by themselves can earn $185,000 per year. Canada only, folks, that is incredible. Well, the best place to go is to go to bisondriving.com. And while you're there, while you're talking to the team, would you let them know that you heard about it from the Lead Pedal Podcast? Hey, good luck there. You're going to make some great money working for one of the safest fleets in North America. All right, so today we're going to talk about the interstate highway system. If you didn't know what that interstate is, it's actually the Dwight Eisenhower National System of Interstate and Defense Highways. Wow, that's a lot to say, isn't it? That's why we call it the interstate highway system. You know, I still teach young new students. I want to, not always young, but new truck drivers for a couple of the truck driving schools in this area. And it's amazing because they are all about GPS, they have not learned about the interstate system. And I don't know about, for us old school drivers, that is how you got around, right? Remember paper maps and knowing what the interstate system is? I'm going to, they said, now it's a controlled access highway system. That's a national system to the United States. They've tried it here in Canada with very limited success because they don't seem to know how to count. See, the nice thing about the interstate system is odd numbers are run north and south and even numbers run east and west. Well, in Canada, they screwed it up right off the bat. As soon as you named the 401, that's made everything else go kind of weird. And it's it does go east and west, but it's also north and south. It's just they messed it up right off the bat. It actually should be the 400, and the 400 should be the 401, and that would have made more sense. But they didn't follow the system, which I thought is a great system, and any truck driver that's running the States that knows the interstate system will tell you it's a great system. This is when we had to phone for a tow or phone when you're broken down or something, or tell somebody where you are. And when you knew that, it was one of the first systems that I was taught. And I was taught by a driver who drove down into the States. These are the kind of things that they would tell you when they're teaching you, which they don't tell you today, especially if you're just running around Ontario. You don't learn things like this. But this is one of the best systems in the whole world. And it also has roots in Hawaii, Alaska, and Puerto Rico. So now I can't say I've been to Hawaii, I haven't driven there, I haven't been driven in Alaska, and I haven't been to Puerto Rico. So I couldn't verify those, but I will take this word up for it for sure. Said the U.S. federal government first funded roadways through the Federal First Aid Act of 1916 and the Federal Highway Act of 1921. It was established in 1926. The interstate system and a numbered highway system was established, creating first national road numbering systems for cross-country travel. And it is true. It is really, truly a great system. I'm not sure the roads are in the best repair, but the system itself is pretty amazing. And it gave a lot of two-lane roads to multi-lane freeways is how they changed it. When Dwight Eisenhower became the president in 1953, his administration developed a proposal for an interstate highway system, eventually resulting in the passage of the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956. Unlike the earlier U.S. system, the interstates were designed to be an all-freeway system with nationally unified standards for construction and signage. While some older freeways were adopted into the system, most of the routes were completely new construction, greatly expanding the freeway network. So anyway, let's see. The construction of the original highway system was proclaimed complete in 1992, although I think it expands and keeps on going. And it deviated a little bit from the 1956 plan, several stretches that did not fully conform with the federal standards. And the construction of the interstate highway system cost approximately $114 billion, and the equivalent of $558 billion in 2021. So in 1956 dollars, we're looking at $114 billion to create the interstate system, and that same money today would be $558 billion. It's of course continued to expand and grow in its additional fund. And one of the cool things about it, for people who do not understand how it works, is the digits actually mean something. They're not just digits. If you're the lower end of the odd numbers, so let's say Interstate 5, you're out on the West Coast, you're in California. If you're Interstate 95, you're on the East Coast, you're going through from Maine to Miami. If you're Interstate 10, you're along the bottom. If you're Interstate 90, you're along the top of the going east to west. And the nice thing is that the mile markers, and this is the first thing I tell everybody, I go, the mile markers match the exits. And they never get that. The students, they don't get that. They don't understand until we start getting into map reading. And when I open the map and I say, how far is it from here to here? And they're all doing all of this math and they're looking at their phones. And I go, well, if you just saw that was mile marker 10 and you're going to mile marker 100, it's 90 miles. It's like that simple. They don't get it because they're used to going to phones. And I can tell you, folks, as you know, we're not big fans of GPS. I mean, I use them too. GPS are a great thing. But if you're in a truck, it's not that easy to just use your Apple phone to get around because it doesn't show you bridges and weights and all that kind of stuff. So you certainly want to know the system and you want to understand it. And the problem with GPS is I find they don't give you your whole route. They give you sections. So you really don't know what you're kind of coming up against. And I really like the fact of a map book that you have to, and even when my wife and I are on a road trip, I don't know how many times I found a highway or a way out faster in the book than she did bringing up her GPS, because it gave you 9,000 similar codes going around there. So anything odd is north and south. Anything even is east and west. If it's a 3-digit number like a 240, if 2's even, if it's an even number, it means it goes around the city. We call those circle roads. If it's an odd number like a 195, then that's what we call a spur that goes into downtown. You want to know the difference because that can, in a tractor trailer, that can make your life a living hell. So anyway, so there you go. And now, of course, the whole interstate system is set up to help with fuel tax. So that's how a lot of people have to figure out, fuel tax is your miles and how much miles you've driven and how much fuel you've bought and, which state you've gone through and where you bought it, and all that stuff is mixed into fuel tax. And the highway system really helps with evaluating fuel tax. So I'm not sure where they're going for the future of the Highway Act, of the interstate system. I guess they just keep building and building and building, but there you go. That is our take on the interstate system, and hopefully it helped you as well. Hey folks, have you heard about the Mega Job Fair? That's right. If you haven't attended this event in the past, you are missing out. This is from the Trucking Network. They always have a great event, and the next event is on March 25th. That's right. It's going to be at the Pearson Convention Center in Brampton, Ontario, from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. on March 25th, 2023. You do not want to miss this event. If you're anything to do with the trucking industry, you're looking for a job, you just want to connect with others, this is the place to be. They still have advertising tables available, so get in there if you want. You want to register because they give away cash prizes, and you don't want to miss that. So you want to get in with this. The best place to find all the information is at thetruckingnetworkevents.ca. You can learn all about it, and make sure you tell them that the Lead Pedal Podcast sent you. It's free to attend. Like I say, if you want a table, those are available, and they give away up to usually about $5,000 in cash prizes throughout the day. So you can actually get paid for getting a job. All right, so we'll see you there. Enjoy the truckingnetworkevents.ca and tell them the Lead Pedal Podcast sent you. All right, so hey, learn that interstate system. That's really going to help you out. If you're a new driver, some of those old school techniques are what you really need to do to set yourself up above the other people. All right, so there you go. Hey, make sure you're following us on our social. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can also find us on TikTok, and get our app. Lead Pedal Media app is probably the best way to go to get things going and understand exactly where you should be on the road and what's coming up on the podcast. All right, my friends, be safe out there. Talk to you later, and I hope you enjoyed that turn back.